Hello. So, Alzheimer's disease. Many of you know the term, but do you really know what it means? The disease itself is a progressive degenerative disorder of the brain and can be characterized by finding unusual helical protein filaments in nerve cells of the brain. Now, I know this definition didn't tell you much. In fact, I don't think that now you can really imagine what the disease itself is and how people that have it feel. So just for now, I want you to close your eyes and think about a time when you were with your family or someone really important to you, someone that you deeply care about. Look them into their eyes, and now forget their name, forget who they are in general, forget where you are, and most importantly, forget who you are. How would you feel at this moment? Quite confused and a bit sad too. And how would the other person feel? Also very sad and powerless. And this is how 50 million people on the planet feel. And every 3 seconds, as I'm talking to you here, one more person develops Alzheimer's disease. In fact, this number rises so quickly that by the year 2050, 131 million people are estimated to have this disease. And the worst of all, there's no cure. No pill that you can take and everything goes back to normal. No therapy, no nothing. And of course, there are treatments, but they are just to handle the syndromes. They don't actually cure it. And only one quarter of the people with Alzheimer's disease get a proper diagnosis. The remaining 3/4 don't get any sort of support or treatment. So this takes me to my next point, that Alzheimer's disease is an international problem. It affects people from all around the world. And I was really interested in finding how Alzheimer's disease causes death and the numbers of that. And I actually found out that per year, Alzheimer's disease causes the same number of deaths as cancer. And then I looked into the demographics, and initially I thought that the country with most deaths from this disease are going to be the less economically developed countries due to the lack of support and treatment. But to my surprise, I found out that actually the countries that are most affected by the death from Alzheimer's disease are the more economically developed countries, like, for example, Czech Republic. So if we compare two countries, Czech Republic and Ethiopia. In Czech Republic, on average, a person dies at the age of 80, and there is 20% of the people in the whole population. And then we have Ethiopia, where an average person dies at the age of 60, and there is only 4% of them in the whole population. So this tells us two things. On average, a person dies in Czech Republic at the age of 80. And if Alzheimer's disease affects people after 65 years old, it means that the disease has a lot of time to progress in their body and for it to be the cause of their death. Unlike Ethiopia, where some of the people don't even live that long to get Alzheimer's disease. So from this we can see that it is an international problem. It is something that can happen to anyone, anywhere on the planet. The disease does not choose you based on where you live. And this only amplifies that it is a problem that should not be taken for granted. So now that you know the significance of Alzheimer's disease in the world, I would like to tell you some of my personal experiences. So my grandmother got diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease 5 years ago. And from this time, it only got worse. And it stopped at the stage where she can hardly remember her husband's name, completely forgot her daughter's name, and my name as well. And it was really hard for me as a 13-year-old to to be fine with her not saying my name again or to not recognize me again, and greet me with the sweet way grandmas do and pinch my cheek. But once this little thing happened that brought hope back for me, it was like a small miracle. So every time when I came to visit, my grandfather always asked my grandmother, "Who is this girl?" pointing at me. "Who is she?" And she would never answer. She was just stare in front of her. But I knew that she was deeply thinking about it. But then once, it was different. She did not just stare, but with such emotion, she answered, "She's mine." And I'm not gonna lie, I immediately started crying. And for my surprise, she started crying too. So from this time, I realized that actually she might not remember my name, a word that is given to us from our parents when we are born. But I'm always gonna be somewhere deep inside her heart, and that's what's important to me. So before I finish, I wanna tell you a story. When I was younger, and my grandmother was still kind of conscious of where she is and what is happening, she used to tell us this story over and over again. It was about her swimming across a lake in her village, and she told us she swam for 2 days straight. And she said it in such detail that when I was smaller, I actually believed her. But as I grew older, I realized that it's not physically possible to do that, swim day and night for 2 days. And so I started thinking about why she was telling us this. What's the reason? And then it crossed my mind that my grandfather used to tell us that she always loved swimming, and it was her goal to swim across a huge lake in her village. And then I realized that she wanted to accomplish this so much that actually her brain made a memory of it and made her think that it actually happened. And in some way, it made her dream come true. And that's what I find really beautiful. And it made me have dreams. It made me fearless about having dreams. Because even if I don't accomplish them for maybe a reason that I can't control myself, I know that I did my best to accomplish it, and maybe sometimes it may seem to me like I actually did. So I just want to leave you with a thought. What is your dream? And if you don't have any, think about why. What is the reason? And if that is so important for you to stop you from dreaming. And it's normal that dreams come and go as we grow older, but one should stay. The one that for some reason our heart chooses to go after and to hold on to. And it doesn't have to be anything big. It can be just a small one, like my grandmother's. But it has to be strong for you to remember it, even if you forget everything else. Thank you.